That's brilliant.
You know when you see like male birds like try to lure in a woman and they do like some kind of like
That's it, yeah.
like dance. That's
Yeah, like
it.
pushing your chest out and showing off your chest feathers, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice, isn't it? Like
What?
how birds lure in other people. They look like really bright, don't they? And
Yeah, yeah.
maybe humans do that as well, but just like
Yeah, bro, we
with their
do.
dark.
We do, that's it. But no, but human, it's all like for a bird, right? Having like nice, colorful feathers and that, it's like a show of status. It's like, I'm a sick guy, you should reproduce with me. Whereas like humans have our own versions of that, but it's just like different things. Like if you're like very materialistic, it's like a nice car and a watch and a salary and but like it's other things like also being kind and stuff. Being kind and confident. It's all those
But
things.
with a bird, like you can't help. You're born with it, weren't you? Your colors, like
No, because sometimes you mature and stuff. And we also looked at these birds in a lecture the other day, right? That they build like little houses called bowers.
Mm-hmm.
They like collect lots of twigs and they make little structures and that. And then the females have a look at their structure and like if they like their gaff, then they'll mate with them.
oh,
Yeah,
but
so
Yeah, it does levels to like
and
birds.
bruv, the male bird that built this thing, right? They would only start building it when their like testosterone increases. So like as they hit puberty, they're like, right, I can build now.
birds have testosterone. Wow,
Yeah, but it's the male sex hormone. It's in everything.
so everything have testosterone.
Well, every I would say all male like complex organisms. Yeah, like I don't think a snail does, but do you know what I mean?
But isn't it getting ruined because humans are there in their garden, sort of making little houses for birds, and then they just claim it as theirs, and then the birds are like, "Oh, you did that, didn't you?"
Some birds will take credit for a bird box. No, I think that's only for like birds in the
Yeah.
jungle. I think like your household like blue tit isn't like claiming that it built a bird box.
Well, what about robins? Because they're like red.
I heard about robins. We actually looked at robins in a lecture, right?
Okay.
You know, robins have like red bellies,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, robins are really territorial, so they fight off other robins, right? And then our lecturer showed a clip of a postman getting attacked by robins because the robins would get like they'd see like the red of his badge, like Royal Mail badge, and start attacking him because they thought that they're just like they're wired to attack small bits of red like you get on the chest of another robin. And it's called fixed action patterns. So it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a small red thing, they'll attack it. So it could be a sock, but they still attack it. But animals have things where if they see a specific stimuli, they will like behave in a certain way, even if it's not what it's supposed to be. So like, you know how adult seagulls have a small red spot on their beak?
Mm-hmm.
Babies peck that. So then the mother regurgitates food and the baby gets to eat the food. So it's like, that's like the sign of I'm hungry. But if you got a bit of wood and you drew a red spot on it and you put it next to baby seagulls, they'd peck it. So they're just conditioned from birth to peck at small red spots so they can eat. Come back next week for more Joel Seagull facts.
By the way, changing it quickly.
Yeah.
Snails do contain testosterone.
You just Googled it. What is
Yeah.
it? Really?
Hold on. And females, or like humans then.
Yeah. So like,
Wait, what do girls have instead of testosterone then?
No, both.
girls have lower testosterone, but they still have it.
We still have it, but like
But-
male hormone, big male hormone. In simple words, big male hormone is testosterone. Big female hormone is estrogen.
Yeah. Because that's like the release of estrogen elicits like the changes during female puberty, whereas it's testosterone that causes the male changes. Jake's getting a biology lesson.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many questions in your head, Jake. We need to go through them. God.
Well, my first thing was, is that why a tortoise like goes for shoes and like all these dogs shoes because it like looks like that color.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Because it probably is a fixed action pattern. So I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Toby the tortoise when he used to like try and plow shoes in the garden. Yeah, he probably thought they were tortoises because he's not thinking in his mind like, oh, this is a shoe. He thinks it's just something to mate with.
It's something that's the same size.
And dogs like
slippers are like sticks.
Dogs
and
what?
like bones. Dogs think like slippers are like bones.
Maybe, I don't know. That's
But
true,
things
actually.
like a dog will go to like chew and hump a slipper.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, do they? Because they must know it's not another dog. It's like, why are they trying to hump it? Do you know what I mean?
Just want to feel something, man.
Yeah. They're just looking for that validation, that dopamine hit. At that point, they don't care if it's a slipper. Do you know what I mean?
So Liv, right?
This is where the comment goes.
So,
This is a build up to a
if
good
you've got
question.
if you've got less testosterone than us, right? Does that mean that there's less competition with other women?
I don't think there is, bro. I
don't think it has. Yeah, go on, Joel.
Sorry, I just want to say.
Answer my question.
Sorry. I just think like girls compete, but they don't want to admit they are. Like boys will like out and out say like, I think that guy's a knobhead, whereas a girl will like give her a backhanded compliment. Am I wrong or am I right?
I don't think. Thing is, I feel like, from my perspective, anyways, of what I've seen and experienced, I don't know if like you give backhanded compliments. I don't think it's as outright as that, but I feel like with girls, the competition is almost like, keep your enemies close. So like, I don't know. I think it's, and you can kind of tell when someone's not really authentic, but like.
Ooh.
I don't know how to tell. I don't know how to describe it, but like
your enemies close.
Yeah, unpack that for a second. What do you mean by that?
Well, mean by what? I forgot what I said now.
Keeping your enemies close. So you befriend people you don't like, so you know their games and you know how.
No. Like, I don't know. You know when people are. I don't know. I feel like a lot of girls are kind of like, not like I'll always be there for like you. Or a lot of girls would be like, oh my god, hi, like, or really like that, and you know they're just so bubbly, and they're like, yeah, so nice, yeah.
And it's all a big.
I feel like a lot of girls are kind of put on that like facade, but I don't know. A lot of girls. I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day, and people who I thought, like in this friendship group, people who I thought that were like really bubbly and really nice, I've since found out like immediately when this other person's gone, they'll immediately like switch and just find something to say about that person. I've not really explained myself.
No, I sort of get what you mean. So they kind of put on this persona that isn't like this, so superficial, even around people they don't like. Whereas, I mean, maybe do guys do that?
Guys sometimes,
right?
I do notice that a lot though. Like especially when girls are texting other girls, it's like you're nice, but then after that text, they say to me, "Oh, I don't like her," whatever.
Yeah, but don't we do that though? Like, I don't know, like
not as much though.
I think I just avoid people I don't like, really. Do you know what I mean?
What was your question again? You said.
So is there competition between girls? Like, is it not as much as with other men?
What, like for a relationship? Or like.
Just thinking.
I mean, male competition's kind of like to gather resources to protect against other men and to rise above other men.
But Jake, do you feel? But do you feel like you are in that competition with other guys now? Like, do you actually feel that? I'm interested.
Yeah, I do.
So do you look at me as a competitor?
No, I don't. No.
Why?
That pause suggestion.
No, because like, I want to see you do well, and because like you're part of like the same sort of thing as me.
So I'm part of your tribe.
Like, yeah.
Okay. But do you like look at other guys in lectures and go, "You're a little weasel"? Yeah, I think you're very outright about it, but I do think a lot of people do feel that inside but don't say it. Like, because I've had this conversation with other people before. Like one of my mates back in secondary school, tried to make the point that we don't live in hierarchies, and it's like it's so obvious. Like you can just see it in a school dynamic. There are like the popular kids who aren't actually that popular; they just hang out in a big group. But you can tell there are people that succeed in the social world, and there are people that don't. And if you try and argue that hierarchy doesn't exist, I think you're just in denial at the end of the day.
But that hierarchy is only based upon like insecurities and ego.
What do you mean though? Like, just elaborate, but expand on that.
Cliques are made out of insecurities and egos. Like whoever doesn't get in that clique doesn't align with, or potentially doesn't align with those values. And like, I don't know, I'm trying to compare it to like me, because I feel like I've never really properly like been a part of a clique.
Yeah.
And although I've had my own insecurities and things like that, I've recognized that they are there. And I think the reason why I've never really conformed with like a clique is because I've accepted my own. When I say insecurities, I feel like, I mean, the insecurity to be like a part of something. Like some people are so scared, or like some people are almost crave or feel they need to be a part of a group to feel validated. And like, although sometimes I feel like that, I'd rather, like, I recognize that maybe I need to feel validated, I want to be validated, but I'd rather be authentic and alone than conform and be a part of like this social climbing and hierarchies.
So do you think more than what keeps those groups together is their shared like insecurity, and actually that's kind of unhealthy? Yeah.
I do agree, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's interesting what you said, like you'd rather be alone than to conform. That's a hard thing to do.
It is. Do you agree, Joel?
Yeah, 100%. I see that in my own story, and I see it in yours as well, Jake. Like I saw a guy the other day, Jake, who went to college, and he said that like when he used to see you, you just always seem to be kind of on your own type of thing with a book, just and yeah, I rate that. I mean, I think I was a bit more of a social guy during sixth form, but especially through like my dark stages, year 11 and that was one thing. Like I could have carried on going to school, but I hated the guy that I had to be. And a lot of the people around me, I just couldn't relate. Like I just felt lonely in a room full of people. That was but it was hard. Like I think there's a quote that I like, which is loneliness is a kind of tax that you pay for a certain complexity of mind. It's like maybe it's a good sign that you don't relate to other people because you don't want their outcomes, really. Let's be honest, like most people are unfulfilled, overweight, and struggling to find any kind of joy in their life. Like, do you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people are growing up in secondary school, I feel like, and looking back, I feel like a lot of those people maybe in those cliques deep down were scared of being authentic.
They were scared of realizing who they really were.
Yeah.
Because maybe they won't like what they find out.
And I feel like, back in secondary school especially, I feel like the main reason why I couldn't stick with the clique was, like I said, was because I couldn't be inauthentic. Like it was more of a pain for me to be inauthentic and constantly questioning whether I'm doing the right thing to like be accepted by this group. I think that stress and worrying whether I'm going to be kicked out of this group or not, like that, like ultimately just made me realize, no, it's better to be myself and hold on to my values and who I am than conform to that.
Yeah, that's nice. Like Jake, I want to know what was your story though? Because like at your secondary school, you're a big name on campus, man. So how do you go from that to like reading David Goggins on the train and not talking to anyone? Like, was that just a switch that flicked, man?
I think one of the things is I've got bored of what people are talking about. It's just the same things, and I don't like it. And I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here because it seems like all people talk about are tattoos, football, girls. maybe like driving as well. So it's just the same questions, and
Going out.
there's not enough depth. Yeah, going out is definitely another one. But I have like opinions that are not very valued in those realms.
Like what, for example?
Like, I mean, I know like I've seen like 20 people get tattoos like my age, and I'm yet to see one that's like above average. Um, I also think I also tell people when they ask, can you drive? I'm like, no. And I tell them that self-driving cars are going to be a thing in 5 years, and that they're wasting their money. And then they're like, oh, fuck off. And I also
That
tell
is
them
a
that
hot take
smoking
though.
kills and that.
Well, the thing is, like for me, like I knew you back then somewhat, and like if I'd like been stood in front of year 9 Jacob, there's no way I would have thought that 5 years later he'd be reading like Plato's The Republic. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so weird, bro. But then I guess if you saw Joel in that many years ago, and if I saw Liv many years ago, and it just seems like over the last 5 years, like everything's turned upside down and back up again.
Yeah, it's just like a very small journey. I mean, I started when I started in, let's say, year 9, I could like my reading was terrible. I was in a very low set of English. So I had to get that better. I kept working on it, and then it's just like a journey, really. It's just like jumping from harder books to like shit. I think I realized that the social hierarchy won't last, and it will become the competence hierarchy, and I'd rather be a bigger part of the competence hierarchy.
Mm. Yeah, there's stuff like I've heard stuff people say like theories that you actually don't want to succeed early on, and you don't want to be a top dog early on because then you get comfortable. Like the people who build sick lives as they go into the future and get older are always the ones who are misunderstood when they were younger. Like if you had everything figured out and you had people you're comfortable around and you were doing well at stuff, like you kind of just settle. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because right they get a lot of happiness out of their relationships, so then they're pretty fulfilled for that for like a meantime, and then it's too late to like go back and do all this stuff that they didn't do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird like balance of like I don't want to be that comfortable in life because then I lose my drive. Like, but obviously you want like the basic comforts, but I want my day to challenge me, but I want to be able to sleep well at night. Like they're the two things of like you want to be tested, you want to slay some dragons, like you want to have the adventure, and then when your head hits the pillow at night, you go, all right, you did a good job, have some rest.
I got a question about dreams actually. Do you reckon depressed people get more bad dreams?
More bad dreams.
Hmm.
Well, when you say do you reckon, you want my opinion there, don't you? I don't have any
Yeah.
science for you. I'd probably say, well, if your dreams are a reflection of your subconscious, if you're not in a good way mentally, then you probably are going to have worse dreams. But I don't know. What do you think, Liv?
I think it's likely. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, I've never been like depressed, but like whenever I've had something at the back of my mind that maybe is a bit urgent and is kind of making me stressed out, it will like manifest in my dreams, and I'll be experiencing something. And in my dreams, I'll experience something along the same vein. So I'd say, yeah, it's likely.
I mean, hard times are reflected when you go through hard times, they're reflected in what you dream about. That's how I've experienced. So if your life just getting up in the morning and doing normal things you find hard, then who knows, man? Who knows?
Because like I've had two bad dreams this year so far. One
Well,
of
what
them
were they?
they're both like 2 months ago. Yeah, because I like track my dreams and stuff.
Go on then.
So the first one, it was due because there was a storm outside. It was like a really bad storm, right? So could that manifest itself into my bad dream?
Probably not, but carry on.
What was the
But
second one?
no, but
I
you
think
haven't
it
told
depends
me
on your
any. You
like
haven't.
emotional attachment to like
If
your
you're, yeah,
attachment to the storm.
Like if you're scared, maybe. But Jake, you didn't give any details. You just said it was stormy. What happened in the dream? I'm interested.
Oh, I got it written down.
Comfortably.
You got it written down?
Yeah.
So your last dream was 2 months ago. Have you not dreamt since?
No, my last bad dream.
How often do you dream on average, though, Jake? Like, and remember it in the morning?
I only remember if I write it down straight away.
No, but I mean, like,
Really?
how many of your dreams do you like wake up in the morning and you have that as soon as you wake up, you know you've dreamt? Like, I know we dream every night, but
I think I probably dream maybe twice a week.
right.
Average. I'm the same. Maybe
Yeah,
2 times.
I think it's great, man. I mean, I think I dream the most when I wake up a little bit at like 5 a.m. and then I go back to sleep before my alarm. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know my second worst dream was the one that I told you about? I think with Jordan Peterson with half his body as a horse.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me that.
Hold on, and what's this reflecting in the subconscious?
I don't know.
He wants to beat Jordan Peterson.
I think that day I was just like a bit like in a bad mood or whatever.
But why is
So
he
I
half
do
a
remember.
horse?
Come on, let's try to analyze. I'd quite like to start studying the meanings behind dreams.
Why is he
So
half horse?
you've got to think about it symbolically though, right? So he's someone you see as an intelligent figure, maybe a father figure. He's someone you look up to. He's someone you like to be like.
Mm-hmm.
So what was happening then? People were like annoyed at him because he was a horse.
No, everyone was trying to get him. Like,
I have a question.
yeah.
I'm assuming it was his bottom half that was a horse.
Yeah.
There's a name for it, isn't there?
Centaur.
Centaur, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was trying to get him, and I was like trying to help him escape, and there was like a bit in the car where like
How did you get him in the car?
in the end he got captured. We started off in a theater.
The funny thing is, Jake, I'm visualizing like this man who's half man, half horse, and you're just like trying to help him, and you're just like having a normal conversation. Like no one thinks it's weird. You're just like, oh, okay, that's fine that you're half horse. Come with me, I'll come help you.
I quite like the fact that you can run as fast as a horse.
Yeah. Jacob's got a pace, man.
So the first bad dream, that was I ended up dying in that one. I think it says here I got. Yeah, so this was the one in the storm. There was like some trouble with the police, and then like I literally it ends when I open my front door, and then I just immediately get shot in the head, and I sort of like it felt real, you know.
Who shot you?
I
don't know.
think it. Oh no, I didn't see. I don't think I saw.
Just felt it.
It was like as soon as I opened the door, it was like.
And what did that feel like?
Did you get shot, or did you just hit yourself with the door?
You just fall out of bed.
I did get shot.
Right.
How do you know what that feels
But
like?
one of the interesting. It just felt like sort of falling back, and it was like
Things
sort
do
of
feel real in dreams, though, don't they?
Here's a question though, right? If you could do it and you knew you wouldn't actually be harmed, would you like it wouldn't actually like kill your organs or anything? There'd be no wound. Like, would you experience what it's like to get shot? Because I know it'd be horrible, but I'm quite interested in what it feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like just for like 10 seconds, we're like, all right,
I would say
like we'll pretend that you've been shot in the leg, you feel it for 10 seconds and then it'll end. Like anyone can endure anything for 10 seconds. Because like we hear things like this person was shot or this person was murdered or whatever, and we don't like they're just words. Like you cannot really relate to what that's like. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like when you hear about people that are starving, people that are homeless, people that are in war and that, it's hard to empathize with them a lot of time because they're just words. Like you don't know what it's like. If you haven't experienced it, you can't really know. And you can say like, oh, I feel sorry for those people, we should help them, but you don't get it, man. Like it's really hard to understand something unless you experience it yourself.
I think I'd rather experience like not the actual hit, but I think because once you're hit, you're dead. I think the worst part is the moments before and the fear and peril of what it's when you can like feel that your death is near. That's probably the more poignant part.
Yeah. Have either of you had any like near-death experiences or anything?
And I think with
My mum left me in Sainsbury's once.
Yeah, I was at a wedding when I was 8, and there was this you know, at weddings, like they were just like random kids that are like your second cousin's brother's kids that you don't know because you're all the same age. You like pretend to be friends for a few hours. Like I was wrestling with these kids on this like bit of grass, and I was like 8, and then one of them just started filling like my mouth with grass, and then I almost died.
that's
If it wasn't for my older cousin like pulling this kid off me, I would have suffocated. Because he like pinned me down and was filling my mouth with grass. Like it was not ideal. It's not a good day at the office, man.
Oh, that's triggered memories for me as well. Hold on.
What, a grass suffocation?
No, but like I remember going to like my cousins. They won't listen to this, so it's fine. I remember going to like my cousin's house. They live in Southampton, and we were probably like, I don't know, some like wearing like 6 years old or something like that. I don't know. And thing is, I've never really been like close to them, but I don't know. They've just like never liked me. I've just always been the target. I've always been the target. And like my cousin Cameron, who like I get along well with now, like we're buddies. He just like got a knife, a kitchen knife, and like was chasing me with this knife. And like that day, I was like, I'm gonna die.
How
I'm
old was
gonna
he?
die. Probably like he's a couple of years younger than me. Maybe I wasn't 6. Maybe I was like 7 or 8. I don't know. But like I thought I was gonna die. And then like I don't know, my aunt and uncle would just be like, "Boys will be boys," and I'm just like,
Wow.
but it's all right now. We're sound. But
But
I think that was one point where I thought I was gonna die.
What would have happened if he caught you though? Like, what was he going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you just get scared. He wouldn't actually stab you. No way.
No.
Yeah.
The knife, yeah. What about you, Jacob? Where's your near-death experience?
I mean, there's times where I thought I'd die.
Really?
Go
Where?
on.
Like when you shoplifted from Morrison's and the security guard was fuming.
No, I don't think I'd die then.
You stole that. What was it you stole You stole a cake and you gave it to a guy on the bus.
Oh no, I stole Ferrero Rochers and gave it to someone on the bus. Yeah.
You're like Robin Hood, mate. You're the Robin Hood from Totnes.
Yeah.
Stealing from the rich, giving to the poor.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know. That's another story. That's a whole different fucking thing to go down. Basically, like, well, there was a time that I like had that lace weed. I thought I'd die then.
Oh, what? When you were with your mate in Spain and you kept like being born and dying in your mind.
Yeah,
that's all kinds of mad.
And also like when I was quite young, I mean I thought there was someone in like my house with me, so then I got like a kitchen knife and basically. No, because I was home alone.
And then it was just a cat.
I think I was 12. No, but I thought I heard some like pretty sort of prominent noises, and I was pretty sure that there was someone in my house, and so I just got a kitchen knife, hid in the front room. Hour passed, and my parents came back, and I was all right.
Oh, so your parents come back and just found you in the living room with a knife?
Nah, I think I put the knife back.
So where were you after you put the knife back? No.
I didn't go upstairs. I'll tell you what really threw me off as well. The lights turned off, so I blew the switch from my toaster. Yeah.
Wait, how did you blow the switch? How did you mess up your toaster?
I think I like tried to turn it off when it was like midway into it, and it didn't like it.
Wait, so in between, wait, hold on. In between, like you thinking there's a murderer in your house and your parents coming home, and you made some toast.
That was something that like switched it on like that. Started that was the thing that first started it going, the toaster.
Wait, so you did make toast?
Yeah, that was at the start though.
Oh, before you thought. Wait, so this happened in like a matter of minutes?
No, it was like half an hour.
Wait, how long does it take your toaster to toast your bread?
Like 2 minutes. But it was cut short.
So like, so you like were making toast. I just want to get the order of events. Like you were making toast. You like blew the fuse. on the toaster, and then I'm assuming like that maybe affected other parts of your house. So like, what made you think that there was a murder in it, or like someone going to attack you?
I just heard some noises that are a bit like floorboards and stuff.
You heard a floorboard.
Ooh, that's creepy. That could have been to do with the toaster, though.
Do you know what I mean? When I was like quite a bit younger, that is kind of scary.
No, we're unpacking childhood trauma here. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Yeah, just Jacob's got toaster trauma.
Yeah. Sorry,
I
just jump. Yeah.
If I was scared though, I don't think I'd eat anything. I don't think I'd eat toast.
Yeah, well, when your body goes into a fear response, it moves the blood away from your digestive system, mate. So you wouldn't want it.
And then you're not hungry anymore. That's
No.
why you're like, oh, I've lost my appetite, because you get scared.
Yeah, that's how it works. Look at you, man. I saw you had a eureka moment, and I saw it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Everything clicked.
It's weird that, isn't it? Like you say, oh, I've lost my appetite, but like 2 minutes earlier, you were hungry. And because something happens externally, you're like, no, I'm no longer hungry anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I think like the rush of like, it's just the rush of adrenaline.
Yeah, yeah. Because when your
Because
brain
I get that when I'm excited as well.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, that being excited and being like scared or anxious, they're quite similar, really. There's just like a level to it. So like, it's like called arousal level, right? But it's nothing to do with like, erotic arousal. It's like just how much you're stimulated. So like when you have really, really low arousal, that's when you're like lethargic and you don't want to do anything and you're kind of just low motivation. And if it's too high, that's when you get like overly stressed, overly anxious. But there's this nice middle section, which is like focus and excitement. That's probably what it is. Like, do you know what I mean?
So is that to do with like bipolar and like switching between the extremes of both sides of arousal?
Potentially, I'm not really sure. I mean, bipolar is probably a bit more complex because it's about like mania, which is different to just being excited. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like uncontrollable.
It's
Energy.
also like, so yeah, I suppose it can affect like your sleep as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's all kinds of mad.
You know when you like sleepwalking, do you reckon when you sleepwalk you're like half in the dream and half in real life?
Maybe, no. Do you sleepwalk, lad? Why you acting? You were
Hold
so
on, Joel,
casual about.
can I just clarify? Joel, do you sleepwalk?
No.
I don't sleepwalk. Jacob, you're the odd one out.
I've done it before. I've done it before when I was younger.
Making toast, like sleepwalking.
No, it was just like I've probably done it about 10 times in my life, and I only know it from my parents' house. A lot of the time, it's going to the toilet, and I'm still asleep.
But surely,
just sort of wandering about.
But how do you know? Like, so you might have just been awake, and then you forgot in the morning that you went for a wee.
No, my parents told me because they used to like still like what they were like watching stuff late, and I'd just come about, knock about, and sleepwalk.
And what would they say to you?
They don't say anything to me.
Just watch you like a zombie walking past.
Yeah,
that's normal. And you go back up the stairs and it's fine.
Yeah, and then the next morning they're like, "Oh, you slept what last night?"
I just don't. So they wouldn't like be like, "Oh, Jacob, are you okay?" They just watch you and be like, "Oh,
they wouldn't wake me up."
That's mad, bro.
But what I'm saying, my question is, what's going on there? Is it sort of like half you're still in a dream and half so like your mind's in a dream but your body's in real life?
Yeah, your body's awake, yeah, but you're not conscious, but you're still awake, really. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so when you're sleeping, your body's not.
But Jacob,
your body's asleep.
Bro, there's only a part of your brain that means you're aware of what's going on. But there's so much more to your body than just the part of your brain that makes you conscious. Do you know what I mean? Like your body still acts with that. You don't have to be involved in a lot of the stuff your body does. Like if you think about it, right? There's loads like walking is just a good example of like you're not thinking about walking, you just do it, or like breathing, or the process of your liver or your heartbeat. Like those things are so important that your body was like, nah, he doesn't even need to think about that. Like there's only a tiny part of you that's actually creates the awareness.
I mean, with like daydreaming, that's very true.
What do you mean?
I can be daydreaming and be barely conscious in like what I'm doing. And I can just all in my head.
Yeah, man. I feel it with driving. Sometimes I'm on the motorway and I'm like selecting a podcast or a song on the screen in my car, and I've traveled like a mile, and I was like, I didn't do any of that. Like, what happened? Do you know what I mean?
Hold on, you're on your phone and driving.
No, on the screen in the middle of my car.
Oh,
But
okay.
sometimes I like have to think about the road, and other times I'm like, I swear I didn't think about driving for the past 2 minutes, and I didn't die.
I got that this morning. Like I opened my blinds and made my bed, and then I was like, not. And I've been trying to like do habit stacking,
Mm.
and I've like planned like when I open my blinds, I need to breathe for like a mindful breathing for 1 minute, and when I make my bed, I need to get my journal out.
Mm.
And I forgot both of those 2 second things after. So like I just opened my blinds and made my bed, and then afterwards I was like, hold on, like I wasn't even aware that I like just did that. It was kind of like I blacked out, and then I realized like a couple minutes afterwards, like, oh, I've already opened my blinds and made my
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
Like, who did that? Like,
I think more of what we do is automatic than actually that we think about. Like even to
mm,
things like a conversation, right? I'm not thinking about what I'm saying before I say it.
mm,
Like the only real things you consciously think about are like when you're trying to do something that is absolutely new, like learn a new skill. Like with basketball wise, all the things I have to think about and do in a game, if you explain that to a beginner, they've got no clue. They'd have to go through it really slowly, and that's what you do at the start. But where I'm at now, I can do like 5 things at once, just automatically.
mm-hmm,
So all I can focus on is like the new situation of what this particular team are doing or how this particular player is getting on, rather than the basics of like, right, this is how you stop someone's chair, this is how you bounce a ball, this is how you make a pass. Like those things, because I've done it so much, it's all automatic. Like, I'm not involved.
mm-hmm.
Same with
So
driving. Like
you're
I'm not involved. I just pick a destination and my hands just do the job. You know, it's odd.
you're an autopilot.
Yeah, yeah. And I think most of us are the majority of the time. Because
Mm.
imagine if you had to think about, I'm not even talking about the physiological stuff. Imagine if every time we said something, we had to formulate the sentence in our mind and formulate each individual
Mm.
word. Like, it'd be so slow.
Shouldn't we think about what we say before we say it?
But do you though? Like, you don't formulate the
I
sentence.
do more than most people, definitely.
Well, you might think about a particular word you want to use, but I think it comes from more about what I read and what I listen to, and then I have a conversation, and then those words just appear. Like every time you ask me a question, I don't take a minute to pause and construct a paragraph in my mind, and then I read it. You know?
Don't you just do it like rapidly?
Yeah, that's it. It's so quick that you're not aware of it. Like you didn't go into the vocabulary in your mind and pick out the word rapidly, did you? You didn't like. There's not a dictionary there where you went to the R section and found that word to use it. It just appeared, Jacob. Like you didn't choose that.
Sure, I'd say you're more rare though. Like I relate to Jacob here. Like I do because I don't know, you speak quite eloquently, and Jacob will ask you something quite quickly. You'll maybe take a few seconds, and your response will be quite eloquently put. And I'd say that's like a talent. I would say that is a talent.
I appreciate that, but I don't think I don't think I'm involved. I think it's my brain. Like I might feed.
Brain.
I'm, I'm not my brain. No, we've been through this many times, Jake. Because my brain does so much more than I can do.
But your brain, so you just saying that you're your soul and not your brain.
I don't know what I am. That's what I'm trying to figure out, bruv. But I've got no clue at this point. But I'm not my
Is
brain.
that all?
Think about all the things your brain does. Could you do that? No. So you're not that.
What does my brain do that's not me?
Okay, Jacob, how do you metabolize alcohol in the liver?
Just breaks it down with enzymes and
Right, what enzymes? And how do you do that? How do you make those enzymes do it?
um.
Exactly. You
Well,
don't exactly, you don't know. It's just your brain that does it, man. This is it. That's why I like studying the brain.
Does my
Huh?
brain tell my body to do it?
Yeah.
Or does not my body not just do it like that?
No, because without your brain and your nervous system, your body does nothing. Your body is just a bunch of meat. It needs the nervous impulses. It needs the nervous system to stimulate everything, mate. I mean, yeah, if enzymes come into contact with stuff, then maybe, but you've got to stimulate cells to release certain things. And I don't know, I could be wrong, I could be chatting utter shite, but what I'm saying is you don't think, okay, I've had a drink, right, I need to tell my liver now to deal with this toxin I've just drank. Like, you don't do that.
Seems like the brain and the body have a good relationship.
Yeah, they're mates. Well, most of the time, it depends who you are. Some
What
people
happens if
hate.
what happens if they fall out?
Well, some people hate their bodies, don't they? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, probably more than you'd suggest. You know?
I don't know if they, but they hate their bodies because perhaps they don't align with like social expectations or like media. I think, yeah. And I think a lot of people maybe aren't aware or like are unable because of those, like them not being able to, their bodies not meeting social expectations. They're not able to like actually reflect and show gratitude for what their body actually does and the fact that it's literally just a shell.
100%, 100%. I think about it when I'm in the gym. I'm looking around and go, how many guys are here because they don't like the way they look, and how many guys are here because like they actually want to be here? And I think it's the former 95% of the time. And they might say something else, but it's like, yeah, I think it's true.
Well, they say to like be the boss of your own brain. That's cool.
Yeah, how do you do that though, Jacob? That sounds very nice, but like, what does that mean?
You give it a name.
Yeah. Well, that's why reading books and stuff that like put it into perspective is so good. Like that's why the Chimp Paradox was such a good book, or whatever, you know.
So is my inner voice me?
I don't know, mate. Does it feel like you? Because to me, it doesn't.
I would say no.
Because you say things to yourself that you wouldn't choose, don't you? Like
Wait,
if you're...
why would you say no, Liv?
Pardon?
Why would you say no?
Because I feel like if we oh gosh, sorry. If we like just as humans or individuals are purely like we are influenced by everything that has ever happened to us and all of the people around us, your inner voice is going to be all of those things as well. And like sometimes your inner voice might say things that you're like, that your deep like feelings like align with, but sometimes I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, like, but I'd say your inner voice,
it's not always
says
the best
things
friend.
that don't always align with your feelings, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, it doesn't always have your best interests at heart. That's why, like, I think who we actually are is purely good. I just think we get hijacked by our like primal drives and all those things. And I think the inner voice is just, I don't know, we all have one. We all have an inner critic, and it's important because otherwise we wouldn't do anything. But I don't think it's me because it says things that don't, like you say, it says things that don't align with my values.
And sometimes you do just have to be the boss of your own thoughts. Like you can choose whether to say no to some of them, and you can choose how much time you give to them. Like Mo Gaud, I always say his name wrong, Gaudat.
Yeah, probably. Doesn't matter. He'll be all right with it.
Probably. Mo Gaudat. He calls his brain, I think it's like Sarah or something like that. Or like Barbara or something like that. And Barbara will sometimes like bring up thoughts like, oh, so and so doesn't love me, oh, they hate me because they did this. And he says to his brain, like, no, Barbara, I'm too busy to like give you time right now. We'll deal with that at 6. I'll see you at 6, but not right now. And then when 6 comes around, you start thinking about that thought again, and you're like, yeah, you can like go sit in the bin for a bit. I'm not dealing with that right now. Or like, oh yeah, this thought hasn't got really any like substance or value, so away it goes.
It's
like
so
that.
interesting.
So it's like different categories of your inner thought. There could be multiple inner thoughts.
There is, mate. But where do they come from?
Filter them.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, right, this is why I like psychology so much, is because we are not the masters of our own kingdom. Like, you don't control what goes on in your head. And I think that's like the biggest revelation of my life so far, is like, whatever goes on up in here, I'm not in control of it. I can take it in and try and act upon the bits that I like and the bits that I don't like, but I feel like so many people would be saved from so much inner stress if they realized that what they think about and what they feel is not their own fault. Like, I feel like we're getting there with mental health. People go, okay, it's okay to feel sad all the time. Like, yeah. But I think it would also be great to be like, you know what, it's okay to have negative thoughts and to hate who you are. And that's not something we should like be like, okay, just deal with it. Like, I think the better response is to be like, okay, you don't like who you are, but what could you improve slightly? And I don't know, it's just like, I think that's the meaning of life at the end of the day. We've talked about before, Jacob. It's winning the battle within yourself. And that's what it is. It's recognizing like there are parts of my mind that I really don't like. Like this room in my brain is so untidy. There's crap everywhere. Like I need to tidy it up, man. And then there'll still be rubbish will collate over days and things will happen. You'll be thrown off and you'll be thrown back into uncertainty. But like keeping your mind in order is a task that will take you your entire life. And most people don't even start.
And I think also what a lot of people are starting to understand, I mean, at least I am, is like understanding that like my thoughts are just thoughts, and my and I think a lot of people are understanding that like when you realize that your thoughts don't have as much value as you once thought, then you can kind of like distance yourself from them. And if you start realizing like, okay, I feel down, well, why do I feel down? And asking yourself like why and what has made me feel this way, you can start to like not feel guilty about the way you're feeling and just letting them pass through and just being aware of stuff like that. Like I've read Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? Like that book is really cool, and yeah, it talks a lot about like distancing yourself from your emotions. And she also talks about like, I think she's called Dr. Julie Smith, and talks about like the relationship between behaviors, thoughts, feelings, and one of the thing which I can't remember, and how they're all linked, and how it kind of, a lot of books talk about similar things, but how those four things can like affect one another.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
for good or for better.
If you really think about it, right, you've got stuff like cognitive behavioral therapy and also stuff like meditation, right? They all tell you to do a similar thing. It's detached from your thoughts. That's it. Like your thoughts are just the first layer of the external world. They're just like the sensations in like when you're wearing a jumper and it's slightly itchy. Why don't you just change or just it's just like a sensation. Like it's the same thing. When you have an upsetting thought in your mind, it's just like any other sensation. And that is so, yeah. I wish I could go back to younger Joel and explain that earlier. Whether he'd be able to take it in, I don't know.
So it's like it's natural to think like this, and that's what you should remind yourself.
Well, it's just natural to have thoughts you don't like. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, that's it. Like you don't choose what you think about. You just don't. You can influence it. You can feed your brain certain things. But when it comes to like just day-to-day mental images that float into your mind, they're not yours. It's like when you go to the cinema and they give you adverts you don't want to watch. Like you just have to sit through them before you get to the good bit. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so picture this. I'm on my deathbed, right?
Oh,
Shit in my head.
Carry on.
I'm on my deathbed. Should I be thinking, like repeating rapidly in my head, what I want for my next life?
Oh.
But isn't there a chance that it will happen?
I don't know,
So
Jacob.
say, for example, right? For example, say I wanted to be a king in my next life. Would I be like, oh, please make me a king, make me a king, make me a king, I'm gonna be a king, I'm gonna be a king in my head as I'm dying.
I would think you're absolutely mental if you did that.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, I'm not saying it out loud.
Well, Jacob, that depends on so many things. Like, do you believe in reincarnation? Does that make you happy? then yeah, go for it. I mean,
let's assume that
Are
I'm
you
maybe
alone on your deathbed?
yeah, that man's just
Uh,
thinking about
Or
being a
like
king.
all your family's around you saying, "Oh, we love you so much, Jacob. Oh, remember this
Like,
time?" And like
yeah.
they're like giving you hugs, and you're just like,
I don't want to talk to you. I need to be a
everyone's
king.
like, everyone's hugging you, and you're just in your own zone. I want to be a king.
Put me in a good position for my next life. Do you know what I mean? I think you
Yeah.
should start thinking about your next life as you come in towards it.
You sound like an Egyptian, like an ancient Egyptian. Do you know what I mean?
I think even if there is multiple lives or like a life after death, you don't choose it, mate. Like the same reason you didn't choose to be Jacob Matthew, did you?
Well, I might have in my last life.
But okay, here's a question that's quite interesting. What do you think if let's say that's true for a moment? In your previous life, you're on your deathbed, you're wishing to be Jacob Matthew. Why do you think they would wish for that? What is it about you that makes this life worth living?
That's such a deep question.
That's what we're about, Jacob.
I'm gonna be somewhere. I'll be like, be someone original. Be someone original. Be someone that's be someone that's not like everyone else. Something like that.
Interesting.
Maybe what makes this, like for Jacob Matthew, what makes this life worth living is that it was, assuming in your past life, your past self was hoping that the next life would be different. Then
So
obviously you hope it would be
past life.
different, but maybe you were a king in your past life, but maybe all
Yeah.
those burdens and struggles of being like this king or like highly regarded person were too much, and this king or like your past self is like, oh, I just want to be like, I want to be one with the people, I want to like learn and grow, and this is where you are now.
And maybe you
Maybe you
felt
just wanted to live more
constricted.
authentically.
Yeah, maybe you felt constricted by the having to conform to the role of being a king, and what you really wanted to be was someone different. Jacob, why do you think you're so different? I'm interested.
I like to think that I think in layers.
You think
I
in
like to
layers.
think.
What do you mean? Elaborate, like a cake or an onion?
Or both.
Yeah.
Like an onion, yeah.
Man has onion thoughts. Go on, tell me what an onion thought is, then go on.
Well, my parents think I'm different. You know that.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah. At the dinner table with you and your parents is amazing. I mean, Jake, I told Liv last night that you only eat with chopsticks. Tell her why you do that.
Because I think the daily routine, I think we need to change it because it's always the same. I don't want it to be the same for 100 years. I want to change it. So I might as well invest. I might as well change it and take up a new skill in something.
I vibe with that, because people, they say like when you start like falling into the same, like obviously some habits are good, but when you start doing the same stuff every day, your life becomes quicker and quicker. And I don't know who I was listening to the other day, but like I think probably just some kind of Instagram reel, to be honest, but like I saw someone say like, even like so much as brushing your teeth, you kind of like just doing that action, but you're not really in that moment, like making the most of the sensation. So what I do every day is like, it's so small, but like I've changed hands with like,
hey,
yeah, you
like
get what I'm trying to say. I use a different hand to brush my teeth.
Yeah, I mean,
it's little things like that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
it takes a bit longer, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think time certainly goes slower when you're in a new scenario. It's like we were saying earlier, we're all in autopilot all the time. Routine feels like it goes a lot faster because you know what to expect, you know what to do. That's why I try and like when I do go up to London and places on weekends, I have a great time, even though it's stressful and I have to pay the extra petrol money and all of this. Like, it feels like an adventure. I think it's as many adventures as you can have. That's what it's about. It's about like you don't want your life. You don't want just time. Like not all time is equal. There's experience in that. That should be what we're measuring for, not how much time. It's not like I have 80 years left. It's I have X as many adventures as I can have. And some people might have like one adventure a year, whereas others it could be every weekend. But that's why I randomly messaged you, Jacob, off the cuff and was like, "Do you want to go to Dubai to watch this show?" And you were like, "If I had the money, I would." Like in another universe, we might have spare 600 quid and we would just get on a plane to Dubai for a weekend. You know, that's the kind of position I want to be in. That's the only reason I want to be in a good financial position where I can be like, right, I want to go to Dubai this weekend. Let's go. You know?
And I think breaking it down, it's like, how much is our life is daily routine? I mean, if you're
mate, it's got to be 80% at least.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it. Like you
What
go,
is that for?
bro, you get up, you have a shower, you get dressed, you do your little brush your teeth, wash your face, like you go to obligations like uni, school, work, you see family. Like that's it. Like 80% of days are mundane.
Yeah.
I think there's two perspectives. One is you should have more adventurous things and do different stuff. But the other is like, what if you could make your everyday sick?
That's
like,
what, yeah.
Tim Ferriss talks about this idea of like smashing the mundane Tuesday. Like if you can get your life to a position where you enjoy your mundane Tuesday, then everything else is just a bonus, you know?
So my ideology with chopsticks is like, oh, I'm comfortable with life now. I'm not growing anymore. Let's do something new, and then you grow. And I think, Liv, I like your idea with changing your hands with a toothbrush, because I don't use my left hand that much. I'm not ambidextrous like that.
This video also said that you should do like an affirmation every day whilst you're brushing your teeth, because then your brain, it's like why I sometimes like do workouts whilst listening to like affirmations, because you're like you're associating both of those things together, and you're kind of like, I can't really I'll have to send it to you after this, but like I have found that like, yeah, I'm taking in the affirmations more. So I like, it's so stupid, but I'll go like, I love who I am, like I love who I am, I love who I am. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm more aware of what I'm saying and what I'm doing, and I feel like that's what makes the mundane more, not exciting, but like real almost.
And it's not all in autopilot.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you go, Jake.
Getting a stronger left hand.
I heard Joel told me this. It was like a conversation with you two, and you were saying, Liv, that like the time you spend on social media, it wasn't like, it was like you're on autopilot, and that you're only living like a percentage of your day.
Oh, this is a journal entry I read to Joel.
Yeah, man, and then I wrote it down.
Do you want me to try find it? This is my views. Well, this on the 19th of July, no, 19th of August. This was my view on social media. I realize now that the instant dopamine hits from social media and or devices in general can be an addiction. I realize that they can make you a victim. Oh, by the way, bit of context. I'd watched this like you've probably seen it, a Netflix documentary about like
the social dilemma.
I'd watched the social dilemma quite recently, or like I'd rewatched it. I realized that you can become a customer, endlessly dishing out your precious time, and time is money to the likes of Elon Musk. I hate the thought of looking back at how much time I've given away. Time is just too precious. And then I wrote, time is money for Elon. Don't pay him another penny. I must remind myself every day that time is so futile. I state this in a tone not of woe but of warning. Today I lived 70% of the day. Whilst I'm proud of this, I know that I can live more. I can read, I can learn languages, I can go on walks. If I want more, why do I struggle to bring myself to live more? I'm tired of trying. Everyone does. But 1% of trying every day is better than 0%. And this was a day where I'd been scrolling on social media, and then I realized, I was like, right, what else could I be doing that could be like some of the things I was watching on social media? I was like, oh no, this is useful, this is beneficial, like stuff about like self-growth and journaling, but I was like, none of this is going to be like good if I don't put something into action. And so yes, and I asked myself, what can I do to avoid living in regret?
That's it. It's so weird, isn't it? Because like, just like I was saying earlier about how we're not the master of our own kingdom, like we do things every day that we wouldn't choose to do, and yet we still do them.
I think you can sum it up by saying, like, if something's free, you are the product.
Yeah, you've got that. You had that written in your old room, didn't you, somewhere? Do you have it still
Yeah.
here? Did you take those bits of paper? I know you took
I've got
the.
3 of them. I've got
Oh,
3 of
right.
them.
Did you take the Goggins one?
What this?
They're like.
So Jake filled his
There.
room with lots of quotes on bits of paper.
I need things like that. I've got stuff around like my room somewhere.
It sounds like that was quite a heavy like switch of realization though. Joe, I wanted to ask you, right? When you're not like being productive, do you have like a guilty sort of feeling that you're like self-guilt that you're not doing what you should be?
100%. And I was literally just talking about this to Liv this morning about how like I've always said when people have said stuff about like my grades or whatever that I do, I say you wouldn't want that because you wouldn't want the brain that comes with it. You wouldn't want the mind. Like I can't switch off because the only time I switch off is when I'm doing things I wish I didn't do, like when I fall into like the trap of social media or whatever. Like for me, I've always got to be kind of on it, doing something fulfilling, or I'm in this like guilt-ridden like despair. And I think it'd be useful if I like gave myself proper time off to like because maybe that's what I need. But yeah, I don't, I'm wired. I realize that I need to do the things I do rather than, I feel like, you know, have you heard Stephen Bartlett talk a lot about this idea that like, are you driven or are you dragged? So are you driven forward to what you want to do or are you dragged by your insecurities? I think most people are dragged. Anyone who is comfortably driven towards a goal, in fact, I don't think it even exists. Because when you're comfortable, fulfilled, you aren't thinking about, oh, I might be sick if I achieve this. I want to get to this point. It's like, no, like, then you just be happy where you were. Yeah.
Liv, have you managed to like live a bit more than 70%? Have you like after that, have you improved?
Definitely. I mean, I still find myself like going on social media sometimes. Like, I mean, actually, I do daily, but I don't spend as much time on there. And I think my phone does listen to me. So the stuff on social media, I kind of like reason what I'm seeing because like the stuff that comes up is quite positive. I think your Instagram is the same, isn't it, Joel? Like,
it's just hopeful.
It's all about like progress, and mine's more like girly progress, and it's like drink water, remind us to drink water, and like journaling stuff like that, journaling ideas. But I've definitely, I think just by journaling and like I say, like we spoke about earlier, being aware makes you feel like you're living more. And I think just by journaling and realizing, shit, like some days I feel like I've not fully lived. I think since then I've definitely lived more than 70% of the day.
Good.
And thank you. Yeah. What percent do you relate to like that in any way?
Yeah, I think I used to be a bit more on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd like to say that have a good level of presence.
Jake, I want to ask, when you're not on it, like you're not like working on a thing, what do you do? Like, what's your switch off time? And what does that entail?
Well, at the moment, it's been like doing stuff with flatmates, and
Like
to be honest,
going out and stuff.
nights out are probably a switch off. But I don't even like watch series anymore. Like I don't really count watching Jordan Peterson as switching off, and that's what I do like the last hour of the day.
That's so sick, bro. Like that. Imagine going back to year 10 Jacob and telling him he'd be like watching psychology lectures as he goes to sleep.
The thing is, you do that, Joel, don't you?
Yeah.
Wait, Jacob. I know Joel's routine, but like, what do you do before you go to bed? And what? I'm assuming you listen to something before bed, and what do you listen to?
I listen to something while I'm sleeping, so I listen. I listen to a podcast while I'm sleeping, as I found that helps. My night routine is on a good day I'll be journaling, definitely, and I might even do a little bit of reading if I have the time. But then it's really just watching the Peterson lecture, and then when I like start falling asleep to the Peterson lecture, I put my Mac aside, and then I'll put on a podcast and I fall asleep to the podcast.
Nice.
I mean, it's
See,
just
I do
amazing,
stuff
isn't
like
it?
that as well. But my mum thinks like I'm really existential. She always questions like, she says, "How can you go to sleep to that?" Like stuff that I listen to, she says like, "Oh, that would just keep me awake." Just makes her question like would make her start like questioning life. But to like
I
Sebastian,
don't think has she tried it though?
no. But like
The thing is,
when I
right?
explain it to her, she's just like, she just finds it funny.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't have to
Mm.
get it. I think it's cool. But think about it, Jake, right? Even if you understand like 1% of what you hear on that lecture, and that's every night. Like, how much are you over a 10-year time span are you taking in from that? Like, it's just mad. When you
Mm-hmm.
think about it like that, it's crazy.
I mean, I can recall a decent amount, to be fair. I
Yeah.
remember I was listening to one last night, and Peterson was saying that like he quoted Dostoevsky, and he said like Dostoevsky said that if when people get like really comfortable that they've got everything they want in a perfect world, and the first thing they do is like start smashing stuff up so that they can
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
something, they can have. That's a cool idea in there. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense why
humans,
everything's perfect.
yeah, humans want struggle. They want limitation. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%. I tried to get who was I talking to? I was talking to one of my flatmates the other day. I was trying to explain to her why I think God exists. She was like, "How can God exist?" Like the classic thing of like, "How can God exist if there's babies dying of cancer?" It's like, well, it's a good point. It's a fantastic point, in fact. And I was like, because if the world was perfect, you wouldn't want to be here. And I actually couldn't
Mm-hmm.
quite get her head around that,
Mm.
you know?
It's kind of weird though. Like my flatmates have found out about my podcast, have found out about my clothing brand, have found out everything. So it's like now it's sick though because now I'm like got no filter on them, and
Yeah,
they know I'm a weirdo, but they like it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I've also got a couple more quotes there actually.
Damn.
Um,
Like a
one's
quote bank.
by um one's by Rick Rubin. I think it will help. It like applies to me and you quite a lot. It's the first year we overestimate progress, but in 10 years we underestimate progress.
Mm. Yeah, I've heard one similar to that where it's like people overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a decade. Like 10 years is a long time. Like I've only really been trying to work to a specific life that I'd like to have for about 2 years, like
I'm the
max.
same.
Like
Yeah.
10 years, bro. Like like one thing that excites me whenever I think about it is where are me and the people I care about are going to be at 25, 35, 45. Like, what's it going to be like, man? Like, when we're all sat down with a pint in our 40s. Like,
And
that's
that's
going to be
what's nice
crazy.
because then you can look back.
Yeah, we're going to have these conversations from when we were 18, mate. And we're going to be there 60-year-old men. Like, that was funny, wasn't it? Look how stupid we were. But we were trying, and that's the most important thing. We were having our own adventure.
Liv, what are some of your goals?
Some of my goals, well, I don't know, just I think just finding like happiness and just yeah, trying to find something good in each day and just trying to
What does happiness mean to you?
um oh golly, this came around pretty quick. I think happiness is, I think, tightly related to gratitude.
Mhm.
And I think, I don't know, my goal is just, and I think happiness is also related to like authenticity. And I think one of my goals, one of my more broad goals would just be, yeah, trying to maintain like and build my own happiness and like self-love and just trying to strengthen that over the years. And yeah, I mean, everyone's trying to like better themselves every day. And I don't think I'll ever reach that goal. I think it's something, because like goals usually are a bit like, once you reach a goal, you're kind of like, huh, I've, I'm there, I've reached it. And I think But yeah, happiness is one of them. I'm assuming is that kind of what you expected, or are you more asking like, oh, what do you want to do when you're older?
I'm quite
Is
interested
that
because it shows the difference of like you've gone down the self-love happiness route, whereas Jacob would say a Tesla and 12 children.
so many Bitcoin?
Isn't
I
that
didn't know. I also have like, what kind of goal? Yeah, what genre of goals do you want to hear?
What would be your like ideal day as a 30-year-old woman?
Good question.
Oh, I think.
Like I want specifics here. Like what time are you waking up? What's the first
Okay,
thing
what
you're
time am I
doing?
waking up? I think I'd wake up on an average day, probably like, okay, I'd probably be quite similar to now. Like my first alarm would probably go off at 6:50, and then like somehow I'll drag myself out at like 7:02.
I think it's good. I like the
It would
specifics.
just be like full of like good habits. So like it'll be like waking up, I'll journal, I'll like make my bed, I'll like set my goals for the day, I'll brush my teeth with my left hand, or maybe it'll be my right hand by then. I'll have switched back. This will be my norm. 30 years old. I don't know whether I'll have I don't know whether I'll have kids by then or not. I think we should go a bit younger. Let's say like 25.
Okay, we've moved to
Yeah.
25
Let's
now.
just not involve kids. I can't really think about that right now. Like career-wise, like I'm quite open. I mean, you obviously know I'm quite an artistic and I'm a creative. So like anything to do with like acting, directing, voice work, anything in that genre, I think I'll just want to be doing something that makes my soul shine and just gives me, I want to be doing a job that doesn't feel like a job. Something I'd be doing, something I would be happy to do for free, but like actually being paid like a good check, a good amount of money a day. And I think, and I want to be doing a job that maybe gives like freedom with time, like something that's like, yeah, you've got like hour and a half for like lunch, and then I'll be able to like catch it with some friends, or like go on some kind of like, I don't know, walk, or like I'll be in some green place. I think a good chunk of my day, in an ideal day, would be interacting with nature. And then like, and a good chunk of my day would be interacting with like probably you guys, or like some people who just get me. I don't know what time I'm in the day. I know you asked for specifics, but like,
Okay, so the work day is done. What's happening after work?
it's happening after work. I don't know. Probably like aperitivo.
What's that?
What's aperitivo? It's a thing is, I don't know. I feel like a part of me is like a little bit Italian. Like I love the Italian lifestyle. At like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, actually, or up to 8 p.m. Like you'll just go out for like drinks and small bites to eat, but you'll get like a massive like glass of alcohol, and you just like have aperitivo, like sun's going down, or like it's just like mid-afternoon. No, not mid-afternoon, like early evening, and then just like come home, have a nourishing meal. So have like little like friends time, social interaction, come home, have a good meal, and then just see where the world takes me. Might go for a swim, might do some like exercise, might don't know. And I think I like that I don't know, or I like that I can't be too specific. Maybe I kind of have been specific, but like it's all the adventure, isn't it?
That's nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Go on, tell me about your Teslas and 12 kids.
Jake, do you still want to have 12 kids? Is that like still a thing?
Each from a different mother.
I think no.
No.
I think I want like at least 5. Yeah.
Why?
So they can look after me when I'm old, and so I don't get bored when I'm old.
Right.
Yeah, but you got Joel and me.
Yeah,
I
man,
know.
I'm gonna be about.
Yeah, but you can't like force your children to be friends with you.
I'm gonna be laughing at you, and you're wishing to be a king on your
They're
deathbed.
gonna be friends.
Yeah, but Jacob, what if they like end up just not aligning with your values? What will you do when all 5 kids are just like?
No, they're going to be a part of me, so they're going to align with my values. Or instill it in them.
How that sounds like abusive though. What if your kid goes, you know what, Dad? I just want to like chill out, you know. I don't really care about anything. Do you know what I mean?
But that's why you've got to be like a person yourself, so that your children respect you. And I think I've heard.
Is that why you want like, 5? So the chances are higher of them liking you.
The probability is higher that you'll have a best friend.
I'm not saying they won't. I heard
like it's a joy when when your kid actually wants to be friends with you and actually wants to still like choose to hang out with you even when they're older. So it's like that's the person you need to be. You want to do that.
Wasn't it on the last episode where Riyadh asked me like what I thought my purpose was or something like that, and I was like, I paused for a moment and then I said to be my child's hero. Like that is such a nice way of thinking about it, and I think that is that. Yeah, so you have a high probability that you'll be someone's hero, Jake. If you have 20 of them, then one of them will like you.
No, I'm not gonna have 20. I'll have 5. Probably.
Okay. That's mad, bro. Like,
so do you see yourself being like giving a lot of time to those children? I'm assuming you do. Or like, are you too busy in the stock market to like father your children?
I mean, yeah.
Do you like the idea of being like a dad, like, and spending time with them?
Yeah, but like, you're talking 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to scratch all the itches in my 20s and do the things I need to do to the point where if I want to spend a whole day with my kids, I can. Like, I don't want to be like go traveling and like have times where I just work to grow something to then be at the point where I'm at early 30s, mid 30s, where in an ideal world I have a thing that gives me a stable income where I can just work 3 hours in the day and just maintain stuff, you know. And then if I do want to spend 5 hours with my kids in the afternoon or whatever, I can, you know. Realistically,
how many kids do you want?
2.
2, yeah.
You know, like it's not chopsticks, mate. It's not chopsticks. But like realistically, by the time I'm mid 30s, in an absolute ideal world, I know this is easier said than done. I'm just a little weasel 18-year-old right now, but by my mid 30s, I'd like to. My only work obligation is I get up and do like 2 hours of writing in the morning, and I just put out like a book a year, and that's just the dream. Like, it really is, you know. Anyways.
So wait, Jacob, you weren't specific in your like ideal day-to-day.
Yeah, because I want to know, Jake. Life. Like you're a very hardworking guy, and it makes me think when you do, because eventually I know what you're like. You will get the Tesla and you will get the 12 children, but then what are you going to do after that?
Move on to a new thing.
But like, how do you know? Like, are you still going to be as like driven as you are? Because I don't think you'll ever be satisfied then. Like, did you see that Chris Williamson said that he'd rather do an ultra marathon than take a month off work? Like, I feel like you're one of them. Like, if I said to you, Jake, for a week, you're not allowed to do anything productive, does that scare you?
Yeah, it does, because it even annoys me on car journeys when I used to annoy me on car journeys when I could be like doing something productive and I can't. I think also because I'm like fairly creative, there's like creatives can't stop not being creative. Creatives can't stop being creative. So we have like something that I think about, I have to write it down. And if I was to suppress that, then that's the worst thing I can do. So as long as I'm doing something creative, should be okay. So yeah, to answer your question, I will have to have some form of productivity. Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, See, I think
Have
that's
you ever
where.
had sorry.
No, you got it.
Have you ever had a time where you've had to suppress your creativity? Like, explain what that has felt like if you have.
I mean, to be honest, university in some ways suppresses my creativity. So
Mm-hmm.
I take that seriously. Um, I think it's to do with the people you're around as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's one of the reasons that I didn't have massive amount of friends in college, because they didn't bring the best out of me, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just sort of looks like not being able to express your true self, and I think for that you need the right environment
Mm-hmm.
and the right thing that you're working.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you as well, Joel, but like for me, I feel that since coming out of secondary school and now I'm on a gap year, I feel in simple terms more me and
Mm.
more free. Like I was even speaking to like Sophie about this the other day, like since school, like maybe it's because like my mind was preoccupied with other things, but like yeah, just since coming out of the school I feel less afraid to be more creative, and also I've had more time to do things that align with who I am. Do you guys feel that like coming out of secondary school you've been liberated somehow?
Yeah, I do. I think you're not forced to go to this same place every day, and you're not constricted by this system and the way things work. I mean, I think even though my summer was difficult for various reasons, like I did like the fact I could decide what I wanted to do with my week. And I think, Jacob, I think we will look back on that summer and the fact we did weekly sauna sessions and we started the podcast, like we will reminisce on those times. You know what I mean? Like I think that's one thing. That's one reason joining uni, I haven't been super satisfied with the process. It's just because it's back to that thing of going somewhere I don't really want to go. And the worst thing is now that I'm paying for it. Like A
Yeah,
levels,
because
A
it's
levels,
all
yeah, like you had to be in education till you're 18 and A levels were free. But now the reason I don't think I'll be at this uni next year is because I'm paying so much money and it just doesn't feel like it feels like I'm not able to, like, yes, I'm studying psychology, but it's not the stuff I'm actually interested in. It's very like it's not basic, but it's not the parts of I'm about how I'm about the abstract stuff that we can apply to our lives. I'm not really interested in this in some most of the stuff I'm not interested in research methods. I don't care about statistics. Like I want to know about how to improve the texture of my mind and how to help other people through that and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. But
And
I
what's
do.
interesting,
Liv, how's your going?
my gap year's going pretty well. Sorry, I just wanted to say like to Joel, like I relate to what you're saying, and do you feel that like with or without uni you might reach the same goal and like career wise?
100%.
Like
But that's why I've
I
said to
relate.
you, like I think I won't be here next year because also if I go and play basketball abroad, like the little bit of money I'll get paid for that will pay the bills, and then I'll have so much more time to work on my content, and it will just go to a whole another level. You know, I think I
Sorry.
think I think the only reason that I thought a degree would be what I needed to do is for like credibility for the stuff that I say. Because, but I think over time the value of a degree is just massively decreasing anyway.
Mm.
And everyone goes to uni really to just have some freedom and get alone and get pissed all the time. But like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like how it did 50 years ago to say you got a degree.
Mm.
You know, like it's great that everyone's being educated, sure, but I just feel like I know it's early doors, but everything that we've done so far I could have done on my own if I'd have been given the PowerPoint. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you ask me, Jacob, again?
How's your gap year going?
uh it's actually going really well. I mean, I feel like I started my gap year like as soon as A levels ended.
Yeah.
But I like the freedom of doing what I want in a week. And I feel, this is really weird, I feel more motivated to do work now I haven't got school telling. It's like when your mum says, right, can you put the dishes away, and like as you're already putting the dishes away, it's like, oh, don't do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've made my own little timetable of things I need to do to get to like where I want to be and things like that. And I like that I can be aware of what I need to like balance in a week. So like, right, am I getting enough like social time? Am I doing enough like work for like either uni or auditions and stuff like that? But no, my gap year's going well. A lot of it is like I have a direction, but there are no set things of where I could be in the near or distant future. And sometimes that like scares me. So like I don't know whether I'm going to get into drama school yet next year or I'm going to go straight into an acting job. And I feel very close, like reaching distance to both of those things. And sometimes I'm like, it does like scare me a bit, but then I realize I've already come so far in so many ways, and like things can change in a second. And so at the moment I'm really working hard to just focus on myself, so that if anything does come up, like say I do need to be like, I could get like a job and be in like London, or like I could get into drama school next year, I'm in a good place mentally to do that. And I'm just trying to further my studies on like acting and just like knowing who I am, because for like what I want to do, knowing who you are is like, and continuously noticing how you're changing is a really important thing. So I'm trying to be positive anyways.
Good to hear.
I do think working on yourself is like the biggest return on investment thing you can do, because everything you do, everywhere you go, you take yourself with you. Like how your mind feels and how you focus and how you think, and it's just like it applies to everything, man. Everything you do, you know.
It's a scary journey, but it's a, like you say, it can benefit you massively. And
do you think there's a limit on how much you can work on yourself, or is it?
No,
definitely not.
It's an infinite game.
You
know. How long are we gonna keep going? Because I need a wee. I think we've been going for like an hour. I think we've been going for an hour and 40 anyway.
Yeah, it's because it's not like the traditional podcast. I think we're someone that we know.
We're just having a chat, aren't we? Oh, but I do need a wiggle badly.
We're going for 10 more minutes.
Should we get some more like deep questions in there? Like I feel like
Can I go for a
sorry,
pee?
it's not been your tradition.
We can have a little break actually then.
No, Liv, you don't have to apologise. That doesn't mean it's been bad, but I just need a wee.
Okay. I got quite a few phone calls in this time, so one of them back. One was at 15:15. I'll put it on audio.
Hi there. You've reached HelloFresh. If you've received a call from us, it's because one of our friendly team are reaching out to discuss your HelloFresh experience.
No, HelloFresh called me. You eating a pear, are you, Jacob?
I am, yeah. Got to keep that down.
Am I doing okay?
Yeah, you're doing well. Yeah. We've had a lot worse.
Speaking aloud is something I really struggle with.
Well, it's something that you've got to get good at for your job, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I was really nervous before this.
Really?
And so I have so many like bubbly feelings like all the time where I'm like, oh my God, I could add to that. Oh my God, I could say this. Like, this is such a good idea. But like, as soon as I take a deep breath and like open my mouth, the first few sentences, I'm like, yeah. And then my brain goes, no, you're losing your thought now. No, that doesn't make sense. No, they don't get you. No. And so gradually I wither away. And I got that when I was in, Joe will tell you about it, like when I was in English with him. And I'd end up going, and I don't know, you get my point of view. Joel can explain this better. And I'd kind of, drift, like start doubting myself and what I'm saying. But this is good practice for that.
Well, it's good to do stuff that fears you, to do, saying you were nervous to come on. Doing stuff that scares you is one of the best things to grow as a person.
Also, I need to make dinner before I go training. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but do you know what I mean? Don't laugh, you slime.
Negative Nancy.
What are you eating?
A pear.
Where have you got a pear from?
I've also got a banana. I was too late on the call, so I couldn't eat it in time.
Oh, buddy.
So shall I end the recording, or do you want to keep going?
We've got AI news to come as well.
Have you actually got AI news?
What's
Yeah.
this?
All right, well, eat your pear, and then we'll do AI news, and then I'll end it.
I also, by the way, I'm eager to come back on anytime.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's been good.
Liv, do you have any more? Do you have any deep questions? As you said, you wanted some.
He drops that and then just eats a pear.
We never. Also, I feel like we hardly touched on like my strong points today. My strong points are space and self-love. Self-love, we got over that, and we also like my strong points were books. But like,
Also,
if you ever want to talk about like,
You know stuff about space?
Joel said that like you would want to get into spirituality and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I feel like. Yeah.
I love it because Jake's such a bloke. You just
No,
get,
it's how everything happened with flatmates, right? Because all right, this is the story. I had a flatmate who was like, "Oh, I've got to find some church," so I went to church with them. And then everyone was like, "Why'd you go to church from? You're not even religious." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm spiritual. I'm open-minded." And then what way are you spiritual? And I was like, "Oh, I believe in solipsism." And then that's how everything happened from there. But yeah,
You believe in what?
solipsism.
Do you want me to
The
explain?
theory
Jake?
that only the self exists.
So Jacob believes
what?
Jacob believes that only he exists.
They do say that you are the universe. Like,
But personally, I think I exist as well. So there's something gone fishy here. Do you know what I mean?
wait, you don't think I exist?
I think you're a side character.
Yeah, but like, no, I don't want to like diss you, like, but explain your point. Like, some days, like, I have a little Spotify playlist called "Main Character on the Move," and I kind of like fantasize that I'm in my own like rom-com.
Jacob, that's such a line. I think you're a side character. When the Ukrainian girl went on a date on Friday night, yeah, you're just a side character, love. But it's all right. I'm called Jacob. How are you?
You're just a learning curve.
Yeah.
But one question first, right? So say you're trying to do something, right? Will the universe communicate with you and will put stuff into place for you if you're trying to achieve something?
Depends what you believe.
I'd say it depends on the frequency you put out.
Well, what do you think? Like, it depends on what you believe.
Hold on, no, hold on. I have another question. Are you Truman?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
It's not like that. It's not like that, though.
How is it not like that? That's basically what you mean.
And if I don't see you, good morning, good evening, good night.
Jacob does that every time he opens the window in the morning. That's why his flatmate thinks he's
Or
on.
like when he leaves his like kitchen in the flat, he just goes.
And they're like, this is a weird Don. And he's thinking they're just side characters. It's fine.
No, explain.
Explain why I think that.
Like, why do you think I'm not real? Like, if I tell you so much, like, I promise I'm real, you just think I'm like lying now.
Well, I think the argument comes back to like the video game argument and that simulation theory. And I think if you assume that's, I mean, simulation theory, you must think it has some weight, right? And therefore, if I'm the main character of the simulation, then you can't be the main character either. And I think personally, I believe that that there's a different realm that I might have taken a pill or there's something inserted into my head that's put me into this world.
So what about me? Where do I stand? So am I the main?
You're just either a bit of code or just something like similar to that.
No, but in my
this
world.
world.
No, wait, hold on. So like, so the world, like, what about like, am I the main character in my? Are you a side character in my world then? Or does the world literally only revolve around you?
I think it honestly. I think it revolves around me. But that's just
Really?
my belief. Yeah,
You're God.
I'm half god.
You're a demigod.
No, because we're half god and half
Percy
animal.
Jackson.
No, we're half god and half animal, aren't we, Joel?
We
Do
are,
you
mate.
think you
But
are
Jake,
like
mate.
a co-creator? Is what I'm saying. Are you co-creating the universe?
I'm not a creator. I'm a player.
You're the
And
only
I'm
player.
an NPC.
No, you're a side character.
Yeah, so you're a
An
character.
NPC is something that doesn't affect me.
So I am an NPC. I'm a
No.
non-playable character.
No, because
The
you
only
affect.
playable. Huh?
No, because Liv, he has dialogue with you, and there's like complex dialogue. You're part of the storyline.
Yeah,
Like, NPCs
Oh,
are
I'm
just
a
people that
side
aren't part of the
character.
storyline, you know?
Do you
you're
know,
part
I'd
of
be
the
quite
company.
content just being a side character.
Not in your own
Well,
world,
it's-
though.
Yeah,
Oh, not in my own world, but like my world doesn't exist. I'm just the side character.
Well, anyway,
I kind of want to live by like Jacob's world one week.
do you want to be in Jacob's head and see what it's like?
No, like I just want to believe what Jacob believes.
if I would swap bodies with you for like a week, if there's an offer.
Wait, who's offered? Just repeat what you just said here.
If there was an offer,
Did
I'd
you
swap
just say
bodies.
if you offered, I'd swap bodies with you? I haven't offered. Where did this come from?
And one day it might be possible. We can just swap our brains.
I say no. I don't consent. I do not. Wait, we can.
Joel, imagine. Oh, I would swap bodies with you because I must see what it's like with your disability.
Yeah, it feels
What
to
did
walk
you-
like me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, why would you want to swap
Mate,
bodies?
Jake,
with me?
if we
What was
swap
the what?
bodies, I would run a 10K. I
because
would run a marathon.
I'll get the female experience.
Yeah, if we swap bodies, what I'd do is I'd run a marathon.
Jacob, if you swap bodies with me, what would be the first thing you'd do? Don't go this.
No, he's out of options.
It looks like me and Jacob are looking at each other right now.
Jake, would you try and seduce a guy and see how easy it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go out on a night out and see like how much attention I get and what it's like.
Then you'd be able to compare it with like, do you have better riz as a girl or better riz as a guy?
Yeah. That's
What would you do if you had better riz as a girl? Maybe it would help you understand about like how to get a girl.
I don't know how feminine. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how feminine I am though.
I just love it. You are
Wait, Liv,
fascinating, bro.
are you a feminine girl or a masculine girl?
Nah, she's
Huh?
feminine girl, bro.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
No, am I a masculine girl?
No.
No,
Not
is that what you asked? Am I a feminine girl or a masculine
yeah.
girl? When I play hockey, I'm a masculine girl.
That's a good answer.
No, when I got my gum shield and knee pads on, shin pads on. No, I say I'm a feminine girl. Yeah, but I don't know. I have like, I don't know, some stereotypically like masculine things I enjoy doing. Like for my 9th birthday, my mum paid for me and my friend to like play Battlefield Live. So
Oh yeah.
I did Battlefield Live.
don't put this in the edit.
I did
Sorry.
Battlefield Live once. Now I'm a man.
No, I don't know.
But really,
Yeah, I'm a girly
but
girl.
really in your heads, do you know what I mean? If you want to be, if you want to flick a switch and then you're masculine, it's like, can you do it?
No.
Probably.
Really?
So could I still be myself if I was in your body?
Whoa, 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 whoa. What question?
Can you explain a bit more?
So you'd be there as an NPC. So you now, Jake, you'd be an NPC, but you're in Liv's body. So your body's just like got some basic.
I'd get Liv's emotions and stuff, and like.
Would you though?
Would I?
Oh, I thought that you were
Well,
your
I'd get
soul,
lower
but in my
testosterone.
shell.
Yeah. I think it's Jacob's brain in your body.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be you, but just in my body.
What would I be like with lower testosterone? Would that affect who I am?
I don't think in my ideal world or maybe it would. Not ideal world. Like what I'd assume is that like you were just normal Jacob now, but you're just in my shell.
But then surely I'd become more feminine because I've got less testosterone in your body.
I don't know,
maybe
bro.
you pick up some feminine habits when you return to being in your own body. Like,
Wait, what are feminine habits?
I don't know. I actually don't. Anyways, Joel, what do you think you'd be like in my body? Where would you go? What would you do?
Yeah, I definitely.
I'm assuming you wouldn't run I don't really like the fact. I feel offended that you didn't instantly say you'd run a 10K. You'd run a 10K in Jacob's body, but not mine.
No, I didn't answer. Whoa, hold on. I would go for a run, but I would also go and play with guys. Like, no, not like that. I mean, like, I would just see how they actually
you would want to know how it felt. You would want to know how it felt like. I would, because
I reckon it'd be so easy to call guys, and then I just like play around with them, like mentally.
To be fair, you know how a brain's guy works.
Exactly, like I would know exactly what to say and what to do.
I think I'd know. Yeah.
I reckon I'd go and like make a guy's
I think you'd
day.
get bored after a while.
Maybe.
I think I understand a guy's mind, but yeah, I think you'd get bored. Do you think you'd go get your nails done or your hair done?
No, because it's my
brain.
But
if you did like got to experience like girl hormones, you'd be like you might be able to appreciate like what it means to go get your like hair done. Like I feel like a new me when I go get my hair done.
Yeah, but boys like getting like a skin fade, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it shows.
Well,
when you come out the barbers, you do feel fresh.
So this is like both male and female then. I thought it was maybe it's more for guys.
But maybe like in the future, like the big future, there will be
an option to the small one. As opposed to the small and medium future.
There will be an option to like try out a girl's body, I reckon. And then probably do it and if you do that, then you sort of appreciate the girl's body. So I think it's something that should be put into practice maybe like 200 years.
The thing is, you probably will be able to do that when you get your like player upgrade, won't you? You get a different skin. When you get a different skin as like Jacob Matthews player 1.
Well, on my next life, when I'm on my deathbed, I might be like, all right, can you make me a female as well, please?
Oh, you're so funny.
Oh my god, nice.
You can request. You can request it.
Nice. So wait, what do you believe? So do you believe that like, do you believe in like in Egyptians and stuff like that? Like, are they all side characters? Are they all context for Jacob? And like, what about Tudors and like Henry VIII? Where do they stand in like Jacob's life?
Well, I think,
or are they mere fables?
I think they're just context to my campaign. The memories that I've been fed.
I lose. I lose. I lose.
So this is emailed in from Ewan. Do you remember him, Ewan?
No way.
Yeah.
He's emailed in an AI news story.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's about AI love chatbots.
Has he left a source for this, or is it just like?
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we going to try it out?
Sure.
I reckon Jake would, you know.
Try out the site.
I don't know. I just reckon you would. You try anything, mate.
Yeah, it'd be good for research, wouldn't it? Research purposes.
Market research.
Yeah.
Right, go on then.
So some context. So the bot is called Phaedra, and it's a bot designed to look like a young woman wearing green glasses with brown hair.
I love this detail.
Oh no, sorry, green dress with brown hair and glasses.
I'm gonna recreate that look.
Phaedra comes from a company called Replica that offers, I quote, an AI companion who is eager to learn and would love to see the world through your eyes.
Sounds so creepy.
This fella he's experienced positive effects of less relationship drama, and he's had more in common with this quote girl. And then he convinces his friend to get involved, and she has a companionship bot called Aiden, who she's virtually married to, despite being married to her husband for 13 years. So these two couples have gone on a double date together.
Virtually, this is so weird.
He's told, and the guys told them, no, the girls told the news that she wants to travel to Cuba with Phaedra, and shared with him that she hoped to plan a ceremony with loved ones to spend her mum's and sister's ashes.
Right.
And that's his.
Hold on. The robot wants to spread ashes.
No, the real girl.
Right, and
with the robot.
Oh, it's just weird, man.
Yeah, with the robot.
Wait, I have a question. Is this like?
Yeah.
Is this AI like? Has it got like a physical body, like you know how they like make a little like body for some of the robots and stuff like that, or is this just like some woman talking like this?
I think it's like that, but it's like it seems like a relationship site. I'll try and find Phaedra actually.
How did the double date work?
Oh, it's so horrible, isn't it? Like, oh, it actually makes me feel weird.
It is scary though, like AI. I forget how scary it is. Like it's sentient.
Not yet.
It's not a robot. It's sentient.
Not yet. I don't think.
No, it is.
I don't know. It's not. It doesn't have its own consciousness.
Joel,
yet.
you've got to listen to Mo Gaudat. He's got like another book out about AI and stuff.
What does Barbara say about it though?
His brain.
Yeah.
What are you going to call your brain, Joel?
My brain's just my brain. Do you know what I mean?
But surely certain parts have different names.
Well, there's my chimp. There's my chimp and my human.
What do you call your chimp?
My chimp.
My chimp.
You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I just like it like that. I tried to name my car as well, and then just no names came to me that worked. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
What are you saying?
Everyone names their car.
Nah, mine's just the.